On August 5th, 1949, following a lightning storm, the Mann Gulch fire erupted in Helena National Forest, Montana. A crew of 15 smoke jumpers and one fire guard parachuted into the remote canyon to contain what was initially considered a routine wildfire. But due to hot, dry, and windy conditions, the fire suddenly exploded. 30-foot flames began racing up the steep slope straight toward the crew. In a panic, the men started running up the steep hill away from the fire, now traveling at 50 yards every 10 seconds. The foreman, Wag Dodge, ordered the crew to drop their gear and tools and follow him. Most ignored his orders. Others couldn't hear or didn't understand and continued in a blind run. 200 yards later, exhausted and desperate, the crew saw the fire closing in, confronting the reality that they could not outrun it. With less than 3 minutes before the flames reached him, Dodge stopped to do something unheard of. He struck a match and set fire to the tall grass in front of him. Now known as an escape fire, this quickly burned a large patch of grass, creating a small area devoid of fuel. Dodge then told his men to join him, but panicked and confused by his actions, they all ran past him instead. 2 men then ran sideways to a rock ridge. Dodge then lay down in the ashes, pressing his face close to the ground for cooler air. In the end, Dodge and the 2 who ran for the ridge survived with just seconds to spare. The other 13 firefighters were overtaken by the flames. 11 died within minutes. 2 others died later from their burns, one wishing he had followed Dodge. The key takeaway for strategists: wisdom is a mindset. Wisdom is not what you know, it's how you hold what you know. Hold knowledge too tightly, and overconfidence becomes a trap. Hold knowledge too loosely, with too much uncertainty, and hesitancy becomes a trap. Dodge's escape fire broke with standard practice at the time. In other words, he had a firm grasp on his fire training, but not so tight that he couldn't let it go when it wasn't working. Strategic agility requires wisdom. Strategists must be willing to ditch rules and conventions when the situation demands. To apply this, cultivate a culture where leaders are willing to challenge their own assumptions, encourage debate, and stay aware of their own limits. Train teams not just in procedures, but in principles. Teach them to think in first principles and adapt to circumstances without waiting for instructions. Follow to learn more about the power of strategy to make your dream a reality.